Hi guys, Dr. Mitchell again. This time we're going to be looking at calling non-void methods or methods that can return values and look at how we can modify programs to return values that we can use in different expressions. So what are we learning today? We will learn how non-void methods return a value that's the same type as the return type in the signature. And once I get that return value, I can then turn around and either store that in a variable or use it as part of an expression. So previously, I had a calculator program. This calculator program was had two void methods, calc average, that didn't return anything. They just printed out a message to the user. So they just performed an action because they were void. However, I can change that to instead return a value so that I can use that in further expressions either in my main method or even in additional methods within my calculator program. If I change that return type, though, to double, because I'm trying to get a double result for my average, then I also will have to change that system out print message, because instead of actually printing anything, I want to return the value of that calculation to wherever that method was called, which in this case would be my main method. So I'm going to change that system out print to just say return average. Okay, so it's going to return that value back to where that method was called. So in that case, I can then change the content of the message, the main method, to use those results in my output or within an expression. So instead, I'm now going to create the calculator object and then print the result of that, because now when I call new average.calcAverage with those whatever values that I put, then it's going to print the actual value of the result because that value was returned to the main method. So what I mean by that is, let's say if I separate these off into blocks, right? These blocks will now all talk to each other. So the main method, of course, is my primary point of execution. So when it goes to call the first method, for example, public double calc average, since the double has been defined in the method signature, it is then going to provide that double result back to main. It's not going to print anything. It's not going to do anything other than just, it's kind of like main asking for, hey, what is 2 plus 2? And, the method will then say, oh, it's 4, and just give that literal value back instead of printing anything. So now main can then use that value to, do whatever else. I could either use that within another variable, put it in an expression, whatever the case may be. Same thing if main turns around and tries to call this method, public double calc average, with this different set of parameter set, same thing will happen. It's going to provide that double back to main, so that way main can do whatever it needs to do with that actual value rather than the action when I had it as a void. So what should we take away from that? We see that non-void methods return a value that's the same type as the return type in my signature. And that when I use that return value in a non-void method, I can store it either in a value or in a variable, or I can use it as part of an expression like my system out prints, or even trying to add it to another value. Thanks. I'll see you guys again soon.